Welcome to Regional Development Australia Perth. RDA Perth is a division of Regional Development Australia and aims to enhance the growth and development of the Perth region by bringing together all levels of government.
Thank you, and we're back. I'm Colleen Yates, CEO of Regional Development Australia Perth, and I'm sitting here talking with Cameron, the Director of Economics, and we're talking about the opportunities that exist around the development at the Outer Harbour at Kwinana. Now, Cameron, as you mentioned, RDA Perth has just released their Security and Defence in Western Australia, an economic perspective, and what we've tried to do is enter into the conversation of not just commerce and livestock and tourism, but the fact that defence is a very important key that's going to drive the Western Australian economy.
Absolutely. Look, it's a fantastic paper, and the first one that I know of to focus on defence in WA. And anyone who's got a long-term history in WA knows that defence is very sensitive. We all know. I grew up with stories about the Brisbane Line and American submarines and Fremantle and all these sorts of things. So it's very sensitive here. So why are we going to have a bigger defence industry or a better defence industry here in the future?
Well, as many people are aware, China is putting their foot down economically in the Indian Ocean, and we have billions of dollars of infrastructure in the Northwest Shelf. One of the things that came out through the consultation across the whole state was that that particular area of the state didn't actually really feel secure. And we've had a number of comments about how easy it would be to interrupt that infrastructure. So what we wanted to do was look at, well, what opportunities existed to provide some sense of security to those industry partners that we've got with the state, and to secure that it doesn't get shut down through some event. And so the number one recommendation that we came up with was the development of the Indian Ocean Patrol Boat Program, similar to the Pacific Patrol Boat Program, that would have a series of boats that would basically look after the whole coast. Now, I know that the Commonwealth Government has committed some funding to the upgrades of their existing frigates that are housed at Darwin, but again, Darwin is 1,800 kilometers from the Northwest Shelf, so in terms of the ease of responding to some event, we may have a couple of issues around that.
That's a really interesting point about we have the Pacific Ocean patrol boats, and you're talking about Indian Ocean patrol boats now. Well, why is that? Has something changed, or is it just getting more focus these days from the federal government? Why are we having more of a focus on the Indian Ocean?
Mainly because the trading partners that exist within that space, it's becoming a lot more convoluted in terms of China and its one road, one belt policy, the investment that they're putting into a number of ports in that particular area, which may, it's going to definitely assist with trade, but it's going to position Western Australia in terms of engaging with that part of the world a lot more, because Sydney and Melbourne are over there. And
it's a pity that they're so remote, but that's the troubles of geography.
That's it. So Western Australia is going to have to begin posturing a little bit more in terms of its role in defence for the country.
And what about India and the Middle East and so forth? You talked about China, which is directly north,
Yep.
but and we're in the same time zone. But what about a bit further northwest as well? Is that important going forward?
Yes, it is. India is a trading partner. Exists. So we've got the vast Indian Ocean in between Western Australia, China, and India. So being able to acrimoniously exist within that space is going to be very important.
And do you see down in the AMC or the defence area that's going to grow there, that we would look after more friendly navies and have a wider multinational defence capability there?
I believe that defence needs to be a very important part of the conversation of the Outer Harbour, because we do have Garden Island that exists, and HMAS Sterling, and the U.S. Navy and the French Navy like to house their boats in that particular area. So we need to make sure that we're looking after their needs as well, that will assist with the growth of HMAS Sterling. So it's not just the outer harbor, it's actually also right across the waters there, the defense sector. And with that, the AMC and the contracts that they are getting, we have huge opportunity, and we'll be speaking to Peter Kasperick from Innovate Australia in a later episode about the opportunities around innovation, and defense is one of those areas that can springboard a whole range of things. One of the projects that RDA Perth is currently working on is the establishment of a drone hub out at Whitby Falls, and we're trying to link that up with defense.
Yeah, well, on the drone side, for a variety of reasons, Perth seems to be a centre for drone technologies, perhaps because of agriculture, perhaps because of resources. Tell us a little bit more about the development of the drone sector in WA.
Okay, well, when we launched our Driving Change report, the one thing that the press took up was the fact that we were going to look at drones, and which was really interesting. So we formed partnership with all 4 universities, the Peel Development Commission, and at that time it was Department of Commerce, to look at, well, if we were to engage with the drone industry, what is it that industry needs in order to come together and cluster in a similar fashion that's happened at the AMC?
Well, we're seeing this already. We had various interviews recently with drone companies to use submersibles to look in the oil and gas sector. We use it already in agriculture because water is so scarce, to try and improve our crops and our moisture measurements. And there's a whole lot of other areas, surveying and so forth, which we could be better in. Even this technologies of flying to and from Fremantle to Rottnest. So in defence, do you see that as being a big area for drones in WA?
Yes, one of the recommendations in our defense report actually was to look at a subsea automation CRC. So, and we're hoping that will link up with the drone work that we're doing up at Whitby Falls. So, since we've been looking in this space, the number of companies in Western Australia has
what's at Whitby Falls? Is that you do want to put are you talking about a drone industrial park? What are you doing in there?
A common user facility,
right,
focused around drones. So we're currently...
Why did you choose Whitby Falls?
Because industry said to us that what they needed was at least 3 kilometers of clear airspace.
Oh.
Within driving distance of the Perth metropolitan area.
Yep.
Okay, we can get 3 kilometers of clear airspace in a lot of places in Western Australia, but yeah, they wanted to be close to Perth. So that area was identified that didn't infringe on any of the areas where flights take place out of Jandakot, out of Murray Airfield, etc. So we found a spot, and that's where we're going to look at developing the business case. And for our listeners out there, please, if you want to hear more, please hit the subscribe button, and we'll be back with you.